Well, welcome kids. Well, we're going to start with our craft today. Remember we learned yesterday with Elijah and Elisha that Elijah went up in chariots of fire to heaven? Remember that? And then Rudy was saying he wanted to make a chariot. Well, you know what? He wanted to do a real chariot and a real horse, and I told him we better start with construction paper. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make just something cute, something simple, and I'm just going to show you the steps that you'll need to do to make this. So here's our little horse in our chariot, and we know it's on fire, so we have little flames. So we're going to do some measurements. What we're going to need are some construction paper. Get yourself a pencil or an ink pen or something. You'll want to get some markers or maybe crayons, some glue, all right, and a ruler, because you're going to do some measuring today, all right? We're going to measure. So I figure, you know, everybody's home from school doing different things, so this will be something to keep you kind of busy. So we're going to start off, we're going to have a piece of paper, and this is actually a regular sheet of paper, just like you get in school, all right? We're going to start this, and the thing that you can remember is just fold it right in half. If you want to fold it lengthwise right in half, fold it right in half. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure across 3 inches on the top, all right? And this is going to make our chariot, all right? So we're going to measure 3 inches across, mark it in the 2 areas, mark it and mark it. So it's 3 inches across. Then you're going to go 4 inches down, because what we're going to do is make a rectangle. So we're going to go to the top, measure down 4 inches, and from that other point, 4 inches, and then start connecting them. So you're going to go across and down again. So we have a rectangle, and I don't know if you can see this, and I meant to bring my marker, but just so that you can kind of see this, I'll just do it a little darker. This is what we have, okay? And then right below that rectangle, we're going to do a square. We're going to actually make a square. And if you think of a square, all the sides are equal. So if we're across 3, that means we need to go down 3 more inches. So we're going to go down 3 more inches. Both of those sides, 3 inches. And then we're going to connect it on the bottom, and that's going to be our square. Right, so that's that part of it. And then this part's just a little tricky. We're going to actually go on either side of our rectangle. On the top, we're going to go a 1/2 inch. And just put a little mark there. Right, 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. And if you need help with this, mention to mom, okay? Maybe dad or maybe a sister, brother, an older sister or brother can help you with measurements, all right? So we're going to do that. 1/2 inch on the top, right next to our big rectangle, and on the bottom part, right there, where it's the rectangle bottom, the bottom of the rectangle, go to the end of that page and just go a 1/2 inch in as well. So mark that one, and a 1/2 inch on this side as well. And this is where you kind of just use your imagination. We're going to use to make the sides of the chariot. So you're going to go right down, and then you just kind of go out a little bit, just like that, just to make something like that. It looks almost like a bottle. Right out like that. So that's going to be the sides, all right? And then what we're going to do before we begin cutting is we're going to just go to the bottom here, right where we have our square, and just put a little area. We're going to just make a little line, and it's very tiny, but what it's going to be is just going to allow us to have little edges where we can do our gluing, all right? It's kind of even with this, and even with this. This gives us like almost like a little flap, all right? So if you look at it, you know, you have your big rectangle, your square on the bottom, your little bottle, almost like a bottle effect, and you have that little area in between. So we're going to start to cut out this picture, all right? So just start here on the bottom. And if you see different things on my papers, because I used every bit of my paper for something else for this project, all right? So we're going to cut this out. And you can actually cut right through there, okay? We just cut in this spot, cut all the way up to your big rectangle, the bottom of your big rectangle, and then just cut this bottom part. All right, so this is actually going to form a pattern for you. All right, and everywhere that you see these dark marks, you're going to actually start to fold them in. All right, so we're going to fold this in. I'm going to fold this up. Fold this up. And we have to cut, I forgot, we have to cut our sides of our chariot out. So give me a second. We'll cut these little guys out too. Bring it down and cut this out. Only to the line though. We're leaving that little lip on there. Okay, I forgot to tell you that, just up right there. Okay, you need that little wing on there. All right, so again, we're gonna go to the top, cut around, just to that little edge. And again, if you need some help cutting, ask maybe your mom or dad or someone. Okay, so we're gonna bring this together. We have all our areas. We're gonna bring this up, bring this in, and this forms our little chariot. And this is where we're gonna glue this, all right? So we take a little bit of glue, and you can actually just put a little strip of glue right in here. Once I open it up, let's get this opened up. Right, so this is going to form our chariot. And this is where it takes a little bit of time to let that dry. So just kind of be patient with it. I'm going to let that dry. All right, that's your bottom of your chariot. And if you want to color it, make it pretty, do so. I'm just kind of showing you the measurements so you can make it, and then you could do it on your own time and make it really pretty. You can use different kind of construction paper, different colors. I thought white was a little bit easier to see. All right, so that's that part with the chariot. Remember, we still had this other little piece that was left. All right, well, these two were going to be our flames. All right, so I don't know, it's probably hard for you to see, and like I said, I apologize because I had my marker and I forgot to bring it. That would show you this a little bit easier. But these are going to be flames, all right, and they were on the part of this, so we're going to just cut these out. Just do our little flames. And what I would suggest is that you could use markers or crayons or something, but probably best thing to do is just color it while it's still here before you cut it out. Just kind of trace it. I'm just going to do it simply for time. All right, we're not going to get too crazy with the drawing and the coloring. All right, so just to give you an idea of what you're doing here. And like I said, you can make it as pretty or as fancy as you want, but these are supposed to represent your flames on the chariot. Color this. I was thinking I haven't done a craft like this in a while. Miss Donna's not so good with crafts, but just so you know. I'm probably more enjoyable for those experiments, but we want to cut this out now. So again, if you need some assistance, ask mom or someone. Cut our little flames out. And this will form your chariot. We just need to do our wheels, and then our chariot part is going to be done. And then we'll go through with our horse. So it just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, but I think it's worth it in the end. Sometimes in life things take a little time, but they're usually worth it in the end. Just like Elijah and Elisha, it was 10 years that Elisha was spending with Elijah, so he learned a lot. So what's a few minutes with Miss Donna, right? So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna cut out, we need to cut out our wheels. And one thing I learned when you're doing this project is certain materials you need a little bit more strength, and other ones you can get by with a little less strength. So, you know, if you want to use a lighter paper for your chariot, that's fine, even for your flames. But when you're doing the wheels, you're going to need a little bit stronger material, like a little bit more of a harder construction paper. And I used a little lid to trace around to make my wheels. All right, so you'll cut those out. And I just want to show you this quickly so that you know how to assemble everything on your chariot, and then we'll do the horse. Just to kind of go through this with you. Okay, so we have our chariot, and that's pretty well, you know, sealed off pretty nicely now. So you're gonna actually take your glue again, and usually what I do for this part is just put a little glue right on your chariot. Right there, and on your flames, put your flame this way, and then put a little glue there on the bottom, and you're going to attach your wheel, all right? So that'll be just showing you a little bit like with the wheel, all right? So you're going to do that for both sides, all right? And then to get started with your horse, that other little piece of paper that we had left from the bottom, you're basically going to take that and just roll it up, and this forms the body of the horse. And as you get up to here, you're going to glue this and form it together, and you'll have a little tube, just like I have here, all right? So you'll put the glue in here, seal it off, you have your tube, and then what you do is you take little legs, and again, for the legs, I would use a little stronger paper as well, and I measured these out 8 inches, all right? So 8 inches, and it's just about a ½ an inch across. So they're not very, you don't have to measure necessarily, but just make your legs. And then what you'll do with this is you'll take this and you're going to put glue on the back side of the legs and the top of the body, and you're going to adhere it to the top, make sure that they're equal length, and you're going to fold them over just like that. So you have some little legs, and you can fold them up on the bottom, just like this little thing that I have done here already for you. Just to show you, you kind of wrap it around, glue it, and you bend those little bottoms so you have little feet, all right, so it can stand up. All right, so that's going to be your horse. And then you just need to take a little bit of construction paper, and I used the harder construction paper for this also, to draw a little horse head. You'll cut it out. You'll just make it long enough that when you cut it out, you want to fold it back to actually have a little resting spot on your horse. And I'll show you this so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Because I want you to understand so you can make this. This is fun. And if you do this, share with us, okay, that you made this little craft. We'd love to see it, all right? And I know this is a little bit more time challenging, so I hope that you take the time to make it, and if you do, I'd love to see your end results, all right? And I'm sure a lot of you are amazing artists. I know there's a few of you out there that are amazing with your art skills, and I'd love to see it, all right? So, but when you do this, you're gonna actually just cut a little piece off on the bottom here and fold it over just like you did almost those little feet, and you're gonna glue it on the top. So that's gonna be your horse. So you just take that glue, and you'll put that on the top for your horse. So that is going to be your horse, okay? And you know it, and it takes a little while for that to adhere, so it's strong enough. So that's why I did one in advance for you. So just be patient with it. Just let it kind of adhere there. Hopefully that'll stay on. But then you can use yarn to make a little tail and to make a little mane, and then also to make a little, like almost like a little strap here, a little chain, a harness to pull back so it's holding the chariot. And you can use any kind of yarn, and I had this from one of our other lessons that we did. And basically to do the tail, when you're gonna do the tail, you're gonna just take a bunch of this, just wrap it around your fingers. And we've done this before too. So you're learning these little lessons, all right? You're gonna take a little piece around, then take a little bit more yarn, tie it off, just like we did for the other things that we did, and the other lessons, and just make a little knot, and then you can actually cut this on the bottom And then you can even these off. You can cut little things, and this will actually be your little tail. And all you need to do is just put the glue inside that tube. Just like if you're gonna do it like this, you're gonna put it inside the tube. And put your little yarn inside there. And give it a little bit of time, and that'll be your tail, all right? And you do the same thing for your mane. Just group it together, tie it off, and just glue it there. And then you can put a little harness around there and make it work for you. So this is your end result. I hope that you can understand it. You might have to go back and forth. When I was learning to do this, I had to go back and forth and check my measurements and so forth just to make sure I had everything right. But just have fun with it. And it's the chariots of fire that actually took Elijah up to heaven. It was a great lesson. If you missed it yesterday, check it out, and it's on, of course, 4 o'clock. We did it yesterday. So I hope you learned from this lesson, and until I see you next time, God bless.